Wow.
That was really tender. Dolls.
I just wanted to
You were very,
welcome everyone.
Very coy voiced.
Mm.
Dolls.
Dolls.
Dolls. Happy Eve. Happy day. Mayhem release day.
Oh, yeah. You got a leak.
Oh, don't tell.
Why?
I'm kidding. Don't tell the state. They'll come for me. The album is, I've only heard a few songs, but it is Chef's Kiss. One of the songs, it's giving like the Smiths, giving like 80s, back to a return to her early days, which I really love.
Moody,
but silly and stupid.
Okay.
Which I miss, like dumb Gaga. Do you know what I mean?
Sense of humor.
I miss cheeky Gaga.
She's so cheeky.
She's so cheeky, but she had a moment of being very serious.
Yeah.
Which I still supported her, but she kind of lost me.
Well, sometimes you have to, the pendulum has to swing.
Oh, and it swung.
Both ways. So I support her no matter what.
But she can still be the best pop star we have, even if she's a little silly. Speaking
of pop stars, the one and only Scheana Shay had a coup this week.
She might not be allowed to be on Dancing with the Stars for whatever reason.
Yet.
But this is a step in the right direction.
But she made
Herstory
on The Masked Singer.
She was revealed to be none other than
Bat.
Can we watch this clip again?
Oh, good.
Nothing is better than Rita Ora being the one that beholds Scheana as Bat.
Rita Ora's confusion at anyone is layered with irony.
Yeah. I'm like, girl.
Who are you?
Scheana is way more relevant than you are.
Oh, 1,000.
But also the shot of the random like young guy in the audience going.
Losing his fucking mind. Scheana's biggest fan. I will never watch The Masked Singer ever. I've taken a stand from day one when I saw a billboard. I said, "We're in a war," and I knew
you're on to something.
That as a soldier of just vibes, I could never ever partake in The Masked Singer.
It is positively dystopian,
but I will watch a clip, and I do support my girl Scheana blowing people's minds. It is just really funny to me how much people's minds are just simply blown away by The Masked Singer. This is like, for this man specifically, will be a core memory for him that informs the rest of his life moving forward.
It's also just, I think it was a show in Korea.
Yeah.
So Korea loves like a slightly dystopian thing,
and that's fine.
No, but for some reason
Korea?
But for some reason here, it just feels like wrong.
It doesn't land.
No, and I simply refuse to believe that it exists beyond just clips, like the clip of Wendy Williams. Iconic, legendary, never seen before, never done before since. But other than that, I don't think it's an actual show. I think we're being punked.
Yeah, I don't think anyone watches it.
No, but
yet
Lara,
they do.
Literally,
no, I know this is how I regard most of entertainment. Is like I know there are huge networks where people, like 20 million people, will tune in to watch an episode of like true God knows what. But in my mind, I'm like, no one watches that. It's not real.
No, like it's more like I feel like 300 million people watch The Masked Singer. Like it's truly,
it is.
It's a thing where it makes me feel.
It's like anything on CBS. I'm like, whomst. ABC, same.
Is this Fox?
Who knows?
I just like, I simply.
It's like bots that are employed to like watch things. I'm just not convinced.
But we're not. We're out of the loop.
No, we're completely out of the loop.
Like we are the ones being punked because we're truly like, oh, it's on Fox. Okay. We're truly like.
Still, Fox is random.
Fox is so random.
It's one of the top 5 random.
FX, not random.
No, FX is cool.
FOX?
Fox, ABC, CBS.
Random.
completely, they go, hey, give us the most random thing you got. And then the writers or whoever pitches them shows, like someone just greenlit a show called FBI, CIA. And it's like, totally, that's so random. But then it just gets to be.
No, and
they're
literally,
like,
get ready, girl, because 30 million people are going to tune in.
And then I'll call my dad for like our bi-weekly/monthly phone call and be like, what are you watching? Just praying that he's watching like something that we
like
can.
White Lotus. Yeah.
White Lotus, or I've just really tried to push for like Sopranos. Like I'm like, there has to be somewhere where we can find common ground. And then he's like watching like a
CSI Honolulu.
No, he's watching just like a true procedural.
Yeah, Polly Perrette. A Polly Perrette joint.
He's not gone that far.
That's who I wasn't thinking of. I couldn't think of her name, but it's Polly Perrette. But Polly Perrette is way more famous than anyone that we talk about.
And I would say, these are the most popular shows that people genuinely enjoy.
Jenny McCarthy is simply America's sweetheart.
Who's she on?
She's on The Masked Singer. She's who Rita Ora looks at and goes, "Did you got it wrong?" And then Ken Jeong.
I like that they go, "Everyone got it wrong."
Everyone got it wrong. And
no
then
one
I love
ever
Scheana going.
No one ever for 1 second would have ever guessed in a million years, gun to their head, I will pull the trigger. Is the Scheana Shay? They would have all said no.
They say, "Who is Bat?" And it's
Scheana goes, "Just call me Bat.
Just call me Bat." But I love when she takes, you can still see she's still a little insecure. You take the mask off. Her hair is everywhere and she goes,
No, she's having like a real come to Jesus moment with her own appearance as soon as the helmet comes off, because her hair is simply askew and Shishu can't handle that.
It's very Valerie Cherish. It's incredibly the comeback. It is so like,
Scheana is the comeback.
She is, but I'm like, goddamn.
Keep employing her for the love of God.
Please put her on Dancing with the Stars.
She needs this.
If she, like, I'm sorry. it felt a little cruel. You were Bat.
I think that is just one step to Dancing with the Stars.
Well, what's the other? Is there any other? Is she going to be on like?
She should be on Traitors.
So she should be on Traitors.
She could be on. Are they still doing that like show where JoJo Siwa carried Sandoval on her shoulders?
Oh, like Outback
like trainer soldiers,
dog soldiers, maybe.
Scheana could be on that.
Yeah, but what is it called?
I just root for
Special
her.
Forces.
Special Forces.
Let her be on Special Forces. I root for her to have a long, illustrious reality career. I want her to be on Big Brother. Traitors.
Do you watch that?
No, but it feels like
it's good for her.
It's good for her. She would do great on Traitors.
Mm-hmm.
Or she would do terrible.
Or she'd be terrible.
She'd be out first like old Durin.
She'd get 100%.
Sandoval made it far.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. But he seems very Masked Singer coded.
He's already been on it, I think.
He has?
I'm pretty sure he has.
Oh my God.
Because he's a rock star.
He is. Well, we're happy for Shishu. I am a little like, it's giving like Valerie Cherish wearing that like cupcake costume.
But I think just like put Scheana in situations. That's the key here. Scheana stands, we have to be loud. In this economy, we have to fight for what's right for the queen.
I'm always fighting for Sheena's right to live.
Me too.
Fighting for her right. You sent me that incredible clip where she was talking about postpartum OCD.
Yeah, she's the voice.
Me.
Voice for the voiceless.
Minus the postpartum, but the OCD.
She's doing OCD awareness.
She made me feel comforted, I swear to God.
It's comforting.
To know that I suffer the same thing she does.
I root for her in every single situation she ever enters into.
Is she still with Brock?
Yeah. Good luck to them.
Brock should be on Masked Singer. And it's Brock!
No one would know.
No, but everyone would go, "What?"
Rita would go,
Peter Madrigal.
Peter would be great on Masked Singer.
I had boots on the ground. Someone I saw this weekend was saying that Peter was at Sir last week.
Yeah, that's his job.
No, I know, but just still, if you are still choosing, you can't believe that he's still the manager there.
I can.
No, I'm saying there might be some.
No, if
He is
you
still
don't believe
manager.
it, you need to get your fucking shit together and get a clue.
Get a fucking
Get a clue. I
clue.
worry about your IQ if you can't believe that Peter's still working at SUR. It's literally the job he was born for.
True.
He'll never leave.
No.
He'll retire.
Oh. The manager.
He's making, I think, more money than most people.
Yeah.
Definitely me. I think he makes like $300K a year.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's good.
He's a great life. He just sleeps with random girls.
Yeah.
He goes to pirate conventions in Tampa.
Has like an incredibly embarrassing job, but he gets paid
a shit ton of
handsomely
money.
for it.
Shows up on TV.
He works
once in
at
a
like
while.
the styrofoam layer of West Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's good. Life
makes
is good for
piss.
him. Oh, other huge breaking Vanderpump news. This is similar to like if you're shocked that Peter works at Vanderpump Rules still. You might also be shocked at this revelation.
Gird your loins.
Jax went on producer Alex Baskin's podcast. Who doesn't have a podcast these
Fucking
days?
Gavin Newsom has a podcast.
Why not?
That old bitch.
And he revealed that he's a cokehead.
Yes, he has a 23-year-long battle with addiction. It's like, girl,
You don't say.
you've had 4 nose jobs.
Yeah.
Your nose has collapsed.
We've literally watched you cut lines at your own wedding.
We've literally watched you bug out. Probably 90% of your time on Vanderpump Rules, you were on cocaine.
Yeah. There's not a day goes by where your eyes aren't bugging out of your head and you're pouring sweat, getting like furious at someone.
Raging at Scheana for simply texting her ex-boyfriend Rob in your apartment going, this is so rude that she's in my apartment texting someone.
Raging that you're the number one guy in the group.
Yeah.
Raging that you're paying for Britney's boobs, so they need to be like triple D's.
Saying that you're able to take 25 shots, that's because you're on coke.
Yeah.
If you're able to take
When
25
he took
shots.
7 shots in a row early on in the Vanderpump
Yeah.
era,
It's because
I
you're on
said-
speed.
yeah, you're definitely coked out.
I mean, you know, I guess good on him for admitting
No.
it, but also fuck yourself.
But also, like, thank God you're saying it, and thank God you're doing it in this.
Yeah, please.
Context?
I want to see him talk about it on the Valley.
Oh, apparently season 2 is like all about it, and he goes to rehab like during
so
season 2.
Is he gonna have a rock bottom?
So he's been in rehab, I think, twice now.
Okay.
He's gone and then left and then gone and left.
Cool.
He said, so I did not listen to this podcast. I simply went on Reddit where someone, a good soul, just like typed out the hot parts.
Brittany did.
Now y'all know my GERD was not the problem. My shots were not the problem.
The shots were not the problem. It was always the cocaine.
How much coke has Brittany done? She
probably
can keep her shit together. She can do coke. If you're,
Yeah, but she probably did it. She probably never liked it. She'd probably do it and go like,
she probably just did shots.
she did shots. My cocaine is shots. But he was
So-
doing it since he was 23. So that definitely means that like he probably got into it when he was living in Miami with that guy in Sandoval as like during his model days.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been a cokehead
Yeah.
for most of his adult life. And it's just, to me, as a former cokehead, it's just like, I don't even know what to say.
No, this is a real yes. And
It's just kind of like, okay.
yeah, we know. Like
And-
it's just him saying it just confirms what we've all known for the past at least since 2012. So that's great. I love to be right. So I appreciate that.
Thank you for confirming that.
What I
already knew.
also appreciate is this is really scratching my like intervention itch where I really do. I crave drug addict content and kind of like hopelessly comedic drug addict content where I had to deviate from intervention was when it just got too hopeless and not funny anymore. So this is like the perfect mixture of hopeless and comical.
Well,
because when you're I don't think he's sober. He says he's Cali. He says I've been sober for 82 or 83-ish days.
Yeah, if
and then
you're-
he's like, I'm Cali sober. So he smokes weed. So you're not sober. So it's great. You're still like using drugs.
Mhm.
Let's call a spade a spade. What I love about this is that now, as long as he's in this realm of fame and attention, he's never going to get sober. Because
No.
why would he?
And it's the good thing about Jax is he's so deplorable that you don't have to like have empathy for him while getting sober, which is great.
I don't have empathy for him because he hasn't actually ever reached a moment of real honesty.
He also partially blames Brittany for his addiction.
When Hundo,
which
he goes,
I'm like, at this point, she is legally allowed to shoot him in the face.
no, I would say that
Firing squad.
she would have the right, I think from 100 yards away, she gets a revolver packed with 5 bullets in the chamber and she can shoot at him and whatever happens, happens. And that's the sentencing.
To blame her after everything, to very, not even subtly be like, our divorce, our separation really spiraled and her sleeping with my friend. Like, after everything you've done to her, after putting her through hell, after she gave birth to your child and tortured her for a decade, right? More than a decade? And then you say, on top of that, you say, like, my addiction, which was already in full-fledged happening well before I ever knew Brittany in my life at all, to say, yeah, it really spiraled when I got divorced. It's like, you are the worst.
Rot in hell.
You can rot in hell.
Rot. To even try and pivot it at all is like, you're not ready. And by the way, thank you for that.
No, please. Me too.
This is like Christmas. This was like Christmas cometh early. Christmas in March. I literally was like, I am seated, my glasses are on, and I am ready to watch you outwardly struggle with your addiction for the rest of the time that you're on television.
But to come for Brittany over her shots and be like, you're embarrassing me, you're a mother, like you're throwing, it's like, you motherfucker.
You don't protest too much. And also, he knows the attention economy. Like, Jax only says things like this because he knows that he gets attention for it.
Yeah.
And we've all signed on.
I'm giving him the attention.
We're all part of that now.
I'm literally like blowing it towards him.
I think the only chance for him truly getting sober is like he does move to Tampa and like takes his social media job and like.
I love that. That plot line was
when his threats.
When he was like, I've been presented with a dream job. And Brittany being like, what are you talking about? I don't want to move to Tampa. I just moved here from Kentucky.
Brittany's I'll bet she'd never heard of that.
Yeah,
before he just announced it that day.
But he was so serious.
He goes, yeah, I'll be
moving to Tampa. My dream job of doing.
He just
what was it like
things.
social media?
It was like social media for a hockey team.
The Tampa hockey team.
Was it Buccaneer?
I think that's the baseball team.
Who knows? Anyways, it didn't pan out. But I think for him to really
says it's football.
For him to really get sober, he has to be completely off the radar. There's no cameras rolling. It's like
But he's also got to make money to pay for Brittany and the kids.
I know, so it's a perfect.
So I'm like,
it's really Alex Baskin's dream.
Like,
and I say, you and me both, brother.
I also love that Joe tweeted the headline that Jax said I'm a cokehead, and she wrote, and he called me a crackhead. And I went, good for you, Joe.
A dunk for Joe.
A rare.
Now, please let it go.
I bet Schwartz is like.
Schwartz is probably shaking in his boots. Because you know that when Jax gets heat, he has to bring everyone else down with him. So Schwartz's days as. But I don't know if Schwartz is a coke doer.
Yes, he is. They all are. I'm sorry. The 3 of them all were doing so much blow. I really believe that.
I know they were doing Molly because I've seen it happen before.
Ooh.
I've seen it.
But I mean, Schwartz, either that or he's just like
Schwartz is like a blackout alcoholic.
No, but he was like roaming the resorts of Mexico at 8 a.m. on the beach.
Blackout.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just like one of those drunks that just drinks.
I think he's like a drinker.
So.
I don't know.
But I think
But also
James
when
and
Katie
Jax
was
were
like,
doing
tell him why
lines.
your dick doesn't work. Maybe he had coke dick.
Or he had whiskey dick.
It remains to be seen, but
Katie's
I
going,
urge
"We all knew.
Jax.
We
I
all
say,
knew."
Jax, if you're listening, now's the time for radical honesty. And by that, I mean, please rat out all your friends.
Yeah. Sandoval.
Instead of you taking radical honesty for yourself, I really think you should focus your honesty on everyone else around you.
He will absolutely be the sober marm.
Oh, 100%.
Shaking his fist. Sandoval, he's gonna rat. Sandoval's the one that got me into it when we were in Miami. It was him. He gave me my first line. He'll do that.
I'm excited for every iteration
Dodie.
of his sobriety to come. You know, Dodie's going to be.
Fuck that man. I know you're ripping lines.
I'm excited.
Speaking of people who should be on The Masked Singer, Casey Anthony has revealed herself on a TikTok video that went viral this week. She's launched a Substack, and her TikTok name is actually Casey Anthony Substack, which is a really funny. And she sits in her car. She's not showing us.
She's doing car content.
She's doing car content because for her safety, she's not showing where she lives. I'm like, no, that's for our safety. You're more a danger to all of us. But she is now a legal advocate.
Yeah, you didn't watch her Peacock special, did you?
No.
Well, girl, I did. And
I couldn't.
We talked about it on the pod a little bit, but I've never seen a guiltier person in my life. It is actually like kind of performance art that she thinks that she's fooling anyone. And it's absolutely shocking that she got away with the crime.
Okay, but so what this TikTok / newfound social media presence is like her being like, I'm taking the reins back. I'm telling, is that what she's trying to do? Like, what is she a legal advocate?
So she started, I'm trying to think back because I also had to watch it and then kind of brainwash myself to forget it. So
wait, really fast. I love that she positioned this video so we could see her tattoo. And
I know she's being kind of like powerless in this
totally
angle. So she started working with her defense attorney and like
they had a weird relationship.
I believe law firm, which is kind of like good on you because I don't see you getting a job anywhere else. Like I think the job market for you, it's a bear market.
Mm-hmm.
So she and those are all her best friends are just her legal defense team, which I would also argue if you are accused and charged with murdering your 3-year-old daughter, putting her in a trunk, driving her corpse to the woods and dumping it, and then you somehow get out of that and get off as innocent, and then your only friends in life are people that were part of your defense team,
you're guilty.
You're guilty. Like that is... Everything is just like, you're guilty. You murdered a 3-year-old child.
But she was like Miss Sports Bar. And she was... I've seen videos of her popping up at like anti-Trump rallies and like wearing like... I have seen protest videos where she has... I think she has friends.
Well, they aren't comfortable with showing themselves. One of her friends I remember very clearly, I think was part of the defense crew. And they were like... best friend, like talk on the phone all the time. And then the filmmakers were like, have you ever asked her, like, did you do it? And she was like, no, we don't need to talk about that. And I was like, okay, so she fucking did it. If you're not willing to ask and get real with a friend, like there's no friend in my life that I consider inner circle that if there was a crime, like I'd be like, come on.
Yeah, if you've never been in a place where you felt, then like they're not really your friend.
If your friend might have committed a murder,
I'd want to know.
And your stance is like, we don't need to really talk about that.
Neutral, then you need to reevaluate your own. Then
I'm
behavior.
scared for you.
I'm scared of you. And
you could actually, you're in danger,
and you are dangerous too. So she is in this video. She's like, so kind of giving like she is kind of giving like Tampa Bay. She's like, so just want to talk about I'm coming clean. I am Casey Anthony. You might know me from things that happened back in 2008 to 2011. And I am a legal advocate for my daughter who can't be here anymore. I am a legal advocate for the LGBT. I'm a proponent of the LGBT community. I'm like, wow, then we've really made it.
They don't want you.
I'm like,
they have enough going on.
We're good.
Trust me. Things are dicey right now. They do not need acquitted murderess.
I was like, we are
on their side advocating
right now.
For them.
Yeah,
the best thing you can actually do
for us
for
in
the LGBT community is to
leave us alone.
Actively campaign against them and align yourself with the opposition vocally and proudly. And that is going to be more helpful than you filming TikToks in your car saying how much you love gay and trans people.
I was like, when she said that, I went,
so much.
I feel better. I feel safer knowing that she's...
Trans people don't need any more ammunition with like in the form of Casey Anthony saying she stands with them. She's off, girly.
She's very pro-democracy.
Yeah, no shit.
But she's like...
I would say if you get away with murdering your 3-year-old child and it came down to a jury all voting, did you do it or did you not? You're definitely pro-democracy.
In Florida, where she was facing the death penalty, right? Wasn't she facing the death penalty? Because I think that's a death penalty place.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is local.
Casey is local.
Casey is... I
think she does not have money and is... Because she's kind of our age, no? How old is she? How old is this bitch?
Yeah, she faced the potential of a death penalty, and she got off. I'll never forget.
She's 38. Okay, so I know exactly what's going on.
She's 38. She looks like she's
lived a lot.
She's lived hard.
I think she's faced a lot of stressful situations, and that ages you.
But she's sitting in
I
her
would love
car
to know her biological age.
with her clock, her watch,
Mm-hmm.
her gold watch.
So
where's she getting this money? Where's she getting this car? I want to know who's paying for her.
She works for the defense place, but I think they're probably like, girl, time to spread your wings. And I think she's also realizing when you're a woman, you're in your late 30s, like it's a good time to think about the retirement, how you're saving, how you're planning for your future, et cetera, et cetera. And I do think that she needs a cash influx. TikTok, she can obviously monetize. And then Substack, clearly
huge.
She's trying to monetize on that.
But what's she gonna write up? She's literally like, I'm advocating for my daughter. I'm like, bitch, you fucking killed your daughter and dumped her in a swamp full of leaves. Like what are you doing? I know that's like the question, that's like the obvious question, but I'm like, what are you a legal advocate for?
But I think she understands in this economy, rage baiting equals money.
True.
So
she's smart. She's an evil genius.
And
but also really stupid.
I'm most grateful. What makes me excited the most about this situation, about Casey resurfacing in this way.
The return of her greatest nemesis.
Miss Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace is back on her Top Mom tip, and she is ready to go. So Casey she poked the dragon and awoke it once more.
Nancy has come out fucking guns blazing. Released, she has a YouTube video. Let's pull that up. Nancy wasted no time. Fired up YouTube, fired up her podcast, and I listened to this podcast episode. Top Mom! Casey Anthony returns. Nancy,
they have the same eyes.
When I tell you,
Senpuku eyes.
Senpuku. What is it called? Senpakao. Why am I like
Senpuku? Isn't that
not
when you
Senpuku eyes?
Senpuku is when you
that's seppuku.
When you commit ritualistic suicide. Anyway, they both have those eyes.
No one is more furious about Top Mom returning than Nancy.
Let's watch Top Mom.
Breaking news tonight. The return of Tot Mom. It feels like a dirt sandwich in my mouth. The return of Tot Mom. TikTok stardom ahead as Casey Anthony haters beg please go away. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us. And looked at the spot where Kelly Anthony's body was bagged in trash bags from Top Mom Casey Anthony's home and thrown in a swampy area covered in trash and used tires, just out in a swamp. And that is where Kelly
40
decomposed. This beautiful little girl.
This is the most incredible thing.
The shining light of her grandparents' eyes in a swamp, decaying. And now, this.
I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter.
Okay. Well, I need to see that again. That's from Casey Anthony's official TikTok account at Casey Anthony.
Nancy gets really emotional. Nancy gets incredibly emotional. I would say everyone needs to watch this. It's Nancy at her best is when she's raging against Top Mom.
Top Mom is her greatest foil.
Yeah. And they are true
yin and yang,
twin flame enemies. It's so crazy. Nancy moved her entire family to Florida during the trial. To
be near Top Mom?
To be near Top Mom. And she moved the twins.
I love the twins.
The twins, she moved them to Florida. And when she starts to think of her twins at that young age and around the same age, she cries during this. She's the most incredible woman, one of the most incredible women we have out there today. And
to me, she's always been this age, and she had her twins.
She's completely ageless. She had her twins at 62. She's like Brigitte Nielsen. Yes. No one is angrier than Nancy. And Nancy makes a great point, and I stand with Nancy. Everyone knows that at this point. But I will not watch Casey Anthony's TikToks. I will not even click on her Substack. The second that you are watching and engaging with her content, you're lining her pockets, the pockets of a child murderer. She's a child murderer. And
not just any child, her own child.
Her own child. There's no way around that.
No, she committed.
But I also think that you really should watch the Peacock documentary. Well, not you, but I'm just saying, anyone out there, if you want to see something truly incredulous, that is just one of the most unbelievable pieces of content I've ever seen, to the point where I was like, shame on you, NBC Universal.
Well, this leads me into my next obsession for this past week was the Ruby Frank documentary on Hulu's got a lot of docs going on right now, but the Ruby Frank, Devil in the Family, yes, on Hulu, The Fall of Ruby Franke. It is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life. I've ever witnessed. I've never seen anything like this. I've never heard of a story like this. It is the most bonkers, Mormon adjacent shit I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Ruby Franke is one of the scariest people I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. And even scarier than her, Jodi Hildebrandt.
Is it still going?
No, they're in jail. They're both in jail.
No, but is the docuseries?
No, it's over. It's 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But they talked to their family. By the way, this only happened 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're talking to the husband, who her now ex-husband, or soon to be ex-husband, Kevin, who I need to say is arguably just as guilty as them. He let it happen. He left his children because Jodi told him to go and Ruby told him to go, and he just willingly left, isolated himself from all of his children, left the 2 children that were being tortured in the direct line of fire, abandoned them, and then is still being interviewed now, clearly coming out of the fog of being brainwashed. So I have empathy in some way, but shame on him. Shame on him.
He's not a man.
He's not. But the hero of the whole thing is the oldest daughter, Sherry. She is incredible. And Chad.
She's the oldest child?
She's the oldest child. And Chad, the second oldest.
This is the oldest daughter's burden, is when
parentified child.
Your mom becomes a fucking crazy cult child abuser as the oldest daughter, it's on you to figure out how the fuck to make it stop.
And Chad, who's like this sort of like vaguely fuckboy, like TikTok guy. He's really cute. I felt bad for him.
Who's he?
He's the one on the left.
Is that a son?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was, so basically
it was just a random guy named Chad who was on TikTok.
He's so Chad.
He's very Chad.
There's 6 kids. So basically, primer, Ruby Franke was like a really successful mom blogger. She sort of was at the forefront of like Utah women using YouTube to spread like Mormon values. And she really popped the fuck off and was making $100,000 a month in YouTube content, which is really wild. And
6 kids, you spend that fast.
Yeah, but they really leveled up in life. They went from very like lower middle class to like pretty well off, living in a really affluent neighborhood called Springville, and very unfriendly to all the neighbors. She was very holier than thou. She always thought it was like her mission to spread Mormonism. She actually converted several people from her YouTube, and the whole family was in on it. She called her children her employees, like literally called them my employees. So the kids were, as they were getting older, Sherry and specifically Chad, he was starting to rebel against having to be on camera. And I think that started to like make Ruby snap a little. And Ruby was also, even before she met Jody, was very abusive. Like there was a lot of B-roll of like unseen footage, unedited footage from her blogs where she's screaming at the kids, threatening to chop a kid's doll's head off if they're not good, telling everyone to make noise, saying you have to fake being happy. Like she was a psycho. So she was ready. She was primed to let the monster out. And then Jody Hildebrandt, who is a closeted lesbian, was giving couples therapy. This bitter, horrible woman who was divorced herself. She made an empire from this kind of Nexium-esque self-help thing called Connections. Her whole thing was breaking marriages apart, blaming the men, saying the men are all addicted to porn, saying they're addicted to everything, and then separating the women and the men, basically.
Queen shit.
And then Ruby's friend introduced her to try to help Chad because he was getting expelled from schools because he was deeply unhappy. And Jody became his therapist, and through that, she and Ruby unlocked the gates of hell together. And she moved in. So Jody lived in St. George, which is like really beautiful.
I've been there.
Yeah. She lived in this like 10,000 square foot apocalypse house that was in one of those neighborhoods where it's like 5 houses in like a canyon, you know? And her house had like subterranean labyrinth of mazes and like bunkers. Like she was ready to go. She was preparing for the end. And she called Ruby because Ruby was starting to go to all her like self-help conferences and teach. She became a certified specialist on like helping people. And
Ruby did?
Yeah, through Jody. Jody, by the way, wasn't even a licensed therapist. She just
never
said she was.
are.
But she claimed she was. But
no, she came up from the rehab community.
Yeah. So she was
like working in like troubled teen industry or just like troubled people industry. I think you get a lot of grifters like that who you don't have to be licensed to deal with people who are drug addicts. It's why like it's so many like predatory practices.
So Jody,
not to mention, don't a lot of rehab. I was like on this girl's TikTok recently and she was saying how she was part of like the Florida Shuffle rehab system where basically it's like people find drug addicts and then they are like, hey, do you have insurance? And if you have insurance, they're like, you should go to rehab and detox and we'll bill your insurance. And then the insurance gives the recruiters kickbacks for like placing them in the detox. The detox gets like to bill insurance like crazy amounts of money.
That's kind of like the movie Unsane.
Yeah, and like so, and then they're like, after detox, they're like, oh, you should go now into rehab or a halfway house that insurance will pay for. they bill insurance and then they like kick back to the detox. Then they're like, oh, you need to go live in a halfway house or like a sober living facility. They bill the insurance for like crazy amounts of money and then kick it up the chain. And then they get out and they get back on drugs and just keep going through the whole thing. Meanwhile, all these centers are getting like tons and tons of money. And I don't know if like you necessarily like working at a place like that have to be licensed. Like, I don't know what percentage of people actually working there are licensed versus like if it's just a doctor who owns it or like whatever.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because Jody coined herself as like an addiction specialist. So she was basically like the problem of every man was that they were addicted to porn. So she would have these group seminars on Zoom where she would have her camera off and just be like ranting to men all in silent and saying like, you're addicted to porn, you're a sex pest, you're terrible, blah, blah, blah.
This I support.
Yeah. But I
support a lesbian waging war against men on Zoom.
She apparently has 2 kids of her own, but they don't talk to her. But she convinced Kevin that Kevin was like her model student, the dad, but she convinced him that he was like a pest and like didn't deserve Ruby. And then she called Ruby and Kevin in the middle of the night during COVID and was like, there's hooded figures in my house and like I'm battling demons nightly and I need help. So they went and got her and brought her back, kicked their daughter out of her room and let her live with them. Like her therapist was living in their house, became part of the fabric of their family. Then COVID happened and like then they were like the world is coming to an end. They all were believing it. Kevin, they all were like, you know, COVID, the BLM protests, like everything, all the unrest, you know, the wars breaking out. Like they were like the world, these are the final days. So Ruby and Jody really got in. And then what really drove Ruby insane was that she got canceled for the people talking about the abuse because she revealed
she like withholds food and stuff like that.
Well, she revealed that she kicked Chad out of his room and made him sleep in a beanbag for 10 months as punishment.
Oh, yeah.
And that really like started the fire.
Set the YouTube investigators off.
And she lost all her brand deals. And then she didn't apologize, but she pivoted to hardcore Mormon like apocalypse language. And then Jody and her started this like,
they started a podcast.
They started basically a talk show where they sit on a couch with their little microphones and talk about like how the world's coming to an end and you need to like discipline your children. Kevin at this point had been kicked out.
Why do you need to discipline your children if the world's coming to an end?
Because you want to make sure that they get to heaven because it's all about, in Mormonism, it's all about like the celestial kingdom and like reuniting with your family in heaven. So if your children are succumbing to evil and like porn addiction and rebelliousness, they're not going to get into the celestial kingdom.
God,
with the heavenly
Mormonism
Father. Space,
never
sci-fi
fails to just boggle the mind how any fucking person with their head on straight could believe a single shred of it.
But like before Kevin got kicked out, Ruby was like, I need to sleep with Jody every night because she is a juicy pussy. Well, first, and there's footage of it, and it's so scary, but it really cracked me up because they were filming Jody.
Were they fucking?
Well, hold on. So Jody was having nightly possessions, and they film her, and she's going, and she goes, she's mine. I own her. Like she was speaking in like different voices, and she was going, and then there's videos of Ruby like slamming down her hand on her heart, and Jody's faking exorcisms nightly, and Kevin and Ruby.
So Jody moved in with them under the guise of like
I can't live in my
battling
house.
Demons, and I need to like be as close to Ruby as possible because she helps me in my nightly demonic battles.
Well, first Ruby and Kevin, and then at some point Ruby was like, "Hey, so it seems like it's only working when I exorcise the demons out of her and like you're kind of bringing the vibes down, so like I need to sit with Jody all night and like help get the demons out. You gotta go." So Kevin's like, of course.
Jody's full Lily Rose Depp Nosferatuing.
Totally. And Kevin goes along with it and is like, great, like eat her pussy out all night, please. I need this. And Sherry goes in at one point, the daughter who by the way calls them Ruby and Kevin, doesn't call them mom and dad anymore, which I'm like, go off. Sorry, I'm like breathlessly talking about this. It's just so fascinating to me. But she went in to get something from her old room where Jody was posted up, and she said there was massage oil everywhere and candles. It was like, and the producer's like, "Do you think they were lovers?" And Shari's like, "I have theories."
What are her theories?
That they were lovers, but she's like Mormon still, so she doesn't want to like.
God.
But they were fully scissoring, and like. It's all about like Jody wanted Ruby.
Or just like doing weird rituals that are essentially because like I would buy even if they, I'm going to watch this, so maybe my opinion will change. But I think also like if you're in a situation where it is a sin to be gay, like I can see the need to do many, many rituals where you're like not having sex, but that's the intimate equivalent of
I think it could have been
sex.
like that. I think you're right, but it seemed like they were fucking.
Well, I think even if you're like, you don't have to fuck to fuck.
No, I think they were having basically like demonic tantra. Like they were fully like.
You can achieve, I believe, the same kind of satisfaction out of
demonic possession,
like your weird demon play, and that actually like rubbing cunts together and like fucking going down on each other and like spooning naked. Like you could achieve, like I believe whatever they're achieving. Sorry, that was so disgusting. Who am I? Who am I?
She's mine.
She's mine. I mean, like,
it's very Dale.
It's very Dale.
But Jody,
as like someone with a lesbian inside of them who has experienced shame about it at different parts of my life, I know exactly what Jody's doing. This is lesbian. When you're a lesbian and you cannot live your truth, you're going to go to a place of hooded figures or in my house, and I've got to move in with this young waif of a woman and run her husband out of her house and find a way to sleep in her bed every night. And if that means that I'm battling demons and I simply need to be my tits massaged in candlelight to get the demons out, she's mine. Like that is classically closeted lesbian behavior.
And it's really sad because it's like she was raised devoutly Mormon, Jody herself. Like she was like a Mormon beauty pageant person. Like she's had a rough road, and I think she had probably was like rejected by her husband and had like a very bad divorce. I'm assuming.
I think when you're again like a closeted.
I don't think Ruby was a lesbian.
No.
But I think Ruby.
What's Ruby's trauma? Like, why is she the way she is?
I think she was raised by abusive parents who were extremely strict. And I think she just like, it was very like the Trunchbull Matilda going, spare the rod, beat the child. Like she just, I think that's what she thought parenting was. And I think she really, I think the fame and the social media fame went to her head. And I think getting canceled fucked with her. And I think it went from it. She went to the equivalent of like Jonestown, like, or David Koresh, like batten down the hatches. We're going in. We're going down together. The ATF, tobacco or whatever it's called, is going to come burn our house down. Like that's what she was. She went full fire and brimstone. And I think Jody saw that and was like, I'm going to get my
rocks off. This is a great. I'm going
to get my big old titties milked in a demonic exorcism.
If I need to fight demons to get these tits massaged, so be it.
And she did. She kicked Chad out of the house.
So Jody, what you're telling me is the kind of woman that just sees an opportunity and goes for it.
She is a full girl boss, and she went full. But they were like. But here's the thing. Then they interview all these neighbors in like the cul-de-sac they lived in. They all live in like McMansions, and all the neighbors were like, she was very rude. Jody didn't really talk to us. Kevin was great, but Jody, she really thought she was better than us.
Classic misogyny.
And we would see the little children in the windows and be like, oh, it's so sad. I'm like, so they did a wellness check, but they couldn't go in because they didn't have a warrant. And then
what did they do? Just knock on the door and be like, show us the children?
Yeah, but they didn't come out and Jody So then Jody and Ruby moved the two youngest children. There's two middle girls that kind of, I don't know what, they were too old, but the two youngest children were the problem children. They were the ones that, and Ruby was a fucking idiot because she documented every single thing she did to the kids in her journal. Every single thing. Like down to the duct tape. Like she's a full fool. So they moved back to Jody's compound in St. George.
Okay.
No, girl, it's not okay because this is where they were.
I'm just like a change of scenery.
Change of scene, but this is when they went fully. They were like trigger warning. They were putting rope, tying the boy up with rope, starving them, making them sit outside, making them trampoline for 24 hours, putting cayenne pepper on wounds. Like, so the kid eventually broke out of the house, went to you see it on Ring footage, goes to the next door neighbor's house. He's emaciated, like truly Skeletor, 12 years old, hasn't eaten in days, and is like, can you call the police? That's how they got caught.
Yeah.
Thank God. It was so painful, so sad. But they arrested Ruby and Jody, and Ruby had she was fully gone. Jody was still like, I'm a therapist. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Jody's just trying to fuck. Like, she's whatever it takes.
It was a whatever it takes.
It's whatever it takes to get fingered. Like, I'll do it.
But Ruby became truly...
You gotta break a few eggs to get fingered if you're Jody.
But Ruby went full, like, lieutenant in Satan's army. And, like, by the end she's dead inside forever.
Yeah.
And she, like, no remorse.
Has she ever come out of her fugue state?
Apparently now she's saying, like, it's good that Jody and I don't have as much contact.
Don't have as much?
I think they're in the same jail.
Stop.
I'm pretty sure they're in the same jail, which is wild to me. They both got like 30 years in prison, which is...
That's great for Jody.
Oh, Jody's got
being in like an all-women's prison is like, for Jody...
And being a master manipulator?
Hitting the jackpot. Jody will not go a day without getting serviced for the rest of her life. And also to go with her lover, her demon slayer. This is Jody creates a goal and fucking achieves.
The demon slayer herself. But it's so sad that Ruby, and it's so creepy when they're being interrogated because they're like asking Ruby questions. And the police all hate them at this. Like, they're all like,
well, yeah, what's to like?
No, but like they interview like a female cop who's like, was the one interviewing her. And she's like, I'll wait here all day. And you see, and Ruby's just going like this.
I think that's also why people hated Ruby so much, is because it's just like, oh, this woman is like truly evil.
Yeah. And she also looks like Meghan King, which is crazy. Crazy.
She kind of looks like she could be a real housewife. Like, even looks like Angie Harrington a little bit.
No, she's rotten and she sucks. And she, like, Jody... I'm not laughing. It's literally... I couldn't... I had to stop watching it one night because I was going to get nightmares. Like, it's truly a thing of nightmares.
Jody is like, let it be a warning to lesbians worldwide. You just have to come out and just accept that you're gay. Like,
or you're going to get into a place where
it's truly okay for actually anyone that's like not 100% straight. Just know that it's totally okay to feel the way you feel.
Yes.
Because if you try and deny that or shove it down, there is a chance that you might go full Jody. And God only knows how many victims will be in your wake.
No, you're going to get to a place.
You're going to Jody.
She's a real lesson in, like, if you're not living your freak flag and like marching in the Pride Parade, you will get to a place where you're wearing gym shorts, Patagonia pullovers.
And everyone who sees you will go, that's a mean old lesbian.
And putting cayenne pepper on children's
so
wounds.
Rude. And then you'll be having like weird demon sex with like your brainwashed housewife in Utah.
Who's not really a lesbian, but is just going along with it because she's fully broken inside because of YouTube.
Yeah. So like, you've got to just come out.
But I'm happy to report that the kids are doing the kids are out of... But I'm still worried about them with Kevin.
Well, how would you ever trust your dad ever again?
Well, Sherry has no contact.
Yeah.
Because she tried to contact him.
But those little ones, like...
She called him and was like, Dad, neighbors called. She's at college. She's at BYU. And she goes, Dad, can you go do a wellness check on the kids? And he said no. And she went, okay. And he also said, never talk to me again, and blocked her. Like, he literally...
He's evil.
He's evil too. Sorry, that was a long...
You needed to get it off your chest.
But it's very subcoded. Jody is very subcoded. No? And when the cops come to her door, you see the body cam footage, and she looks like such a lesbian, and she's at the door, and her hair is like just out of the shower, wearing her shorts, and she goes, I'm on the phone with my lawyer. And they go, come out, and she goes, no, don't make me come out. I'm like, oh, you...
No, they said come out, and she was like, never.
She went,
I'm straight. I'm straight as an arrow.
She's mine. Who will play her in the movie?
I don't know. Those are the kind of things like I don't think you should make movies of.
No,
like
it's
the
too
Natalia
dark.
Grace, like...
Well, Heather Locklear played her in a Lifetime movie.
Well, yeah, but Lifetime's going to do their own thing. That's not like a movie.
Tori Spelling has a new movie on Lifetime.
Good.
I saw a clip from that is the wildest acting I have ever seen.
Tori Spelling, I like love her. I was watching Denise Richards has a new reality show on Bravo called Denise Richards and Her Wild Things. And it's good. Like, it's very entertaining. It's like...
She had a great show on E!
Yeah, Denise's like slices of life, her weird family. She's so Hollywood of yesteryear, and all of her circle of kind of famous people that she knows, like from that era, all feel really Hollywood of yesteryear. Like Patrick Muldoon.
Oh yeah, the guy from Starship Troopers.
And
she loves Patty.
And Tori makes an appearance in an episode. She does Tori's podcast. And I was just like, God, I love these women. Like, these are women that I'm just like very intrigued by, and her weird life and her weird family. And Aaron is bizarre. And
they're a little
her
Jody
daughters
Ruby.
are very heavily featured on the show. Sammy, the oldest, is
OnlyFans girl.
On OnlyFans making like crazy money. And then Lola, the younger one, is full Christian to the max. Like
Hillsong?
Something like that.
Ooh.
She's like, Jesus told me this. Like, she's like, this was Jesus's plan kind
Is
of
Denise
Christian. Denise is like, I raised you Catholic, but I don't know what that means.
Right. She's Catholic from Illinois.
Yeah, like, I don't think she's like practicing.
I've raised you.
And Denise is also just like kind of drunk. Like, she's a little drunk.
Never forget.
Seeming, and I like that.
Never forget when Dorit said your coat is on backwards, and she went,
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, she's always like a little bit drunk, I think.
A little slurry.
A little bit slurry. That, I think, yeah. So I would say watch it. It's great.
So Lola kind of found Christ.
Lola found Christ like within the last year. She's like a newfound, devout Christian.
I wonder if she goes to like Mosaic.
I'm sure she goes to one of them.
I'll go investigate.
You should.
Does Charlie ever make an appearance?
Not yet, but Lola says she talks to him a lot and he helps her.
With what?
I don't know. She says she loves talking to him because he like understands the way she thinks, and he's like very helpful with advice.
He's sober, right?
Who knows?
Didn't he like kidnap someone?
He did a lot of things.
Yeah. I think he like kidnapped a woman.
But or like held her hostage in a hotel room.
Yeah, okay.
But I think when you're like doing crack and stuff like that, more often than not, you might find yourself hostage in a hotel room. I think it's like not out of the realm. It's kind of like when you don't come out as a lesbian.
You're a demon slayer.
You might find yourself
possessed by a demon.
Possessed by a demon, laying in a woman's bed, having run her husband off and abusing her kids just so that she can like rub you. But like, if you're smoking crack regularly and you get...
I'm still on rubbing their guts together. You literally sound like the demon in The Exorcist.
I know.
Like, girl, where did that come from?
I don't know. They brought it out of me. They're evil. They brought it out of me.
You literally went, Rubbin, do you know what your daughter did?
They brought it out of me.
You literally just went, fuck me, Jesus, fuck, lick him.
I can't help it what Jody made me do and say. I take no accountability.
I felt like...
Do you think I liked saying it? I didn't. I don't like who I became in that moment.
I run down my spine when he said it. I'm not shaming you.
It was scary because they did that.
No, I know, but I'm not shaming you.
I was merely channeling their own actions, and I don't like it any more than you do.
Name yourself, whoever is in you.
That was Beelzebub.
Tell us your name.
I don't claim that energy. I don't claim the words that came out of my own mouth.
Leave this woman at once.
You have to just make the lesbians come out, or else I'm going to say things. Don't.
It was medieval.
It was.
Anyway, okay, we're moving on. Is Brooke in it? Brooke Mueller?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Does
Brooke
Denise?
is part of Denise's like extended family. She invites her to like barbecues and is like friends with her.
Didn't Denise raise her kids at one point?
Yeah, like it's kind of the craziest Hollywood
Sister
family
wives.
of all time.
They're kind of sister wives.
They are.
Damn, that was Charlie fucked her up, right?
I think that she had demons. And once you get in with Charlie, like I think you're going to just exponentially grow those demons.
It's crazy how famous she was.
Brooke? Or Denise. Yeah.
She was like 9. She was like top of the charts.
Yeah.
And now she's
doing fine.
Yeah, she's doing fine. Aaron freaks me out.
He's not so heavily featured. Not as much so far as I would like him to be. I think that that's kind of off limits, him and his like crystal theories.
Big Pharma.
Yeah. Like I don't know if we're going to get like them being chased by But maybe that's why everyone needs to watch it, so it can get to like season 3 or 4 where then we start seeing like the kookiness come out.
That was so weird how no one really addressed that.
You can't, it's like.
And also that they were shot at.
Yeah.
Like just some weird shit's happening out in Malibu.
It's weird.
Does she live in Malibu still?
Well, she said Aaron's family moved into their house. So then she and Aaron moved out of the house and are letting his family live there. And they rent 3 townhouse like condos next to each other. And like Lola lives in one, they live in the other one, and then one is like a studio. It's like where
are the townhomes?
I don't know. Like somewhere I think in Malibu. It's really strange.
I wonder did it burn down, do you think?
Her townhomes?
Or like did they have to?
I don't know. They haven't, this was shot pre-fire, right. So I don't know. Anyways,
Whoa.
I would just say like, if you're looking for an easy, entertaining watch, Denise Richards and Her Wild Things is where it's at. And the sisters have a lot of drama with each other. They like aren't speaking.
Denise, Lola and Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of celebs of yesteryear, Armie Hammer, his podcast, he is really pushing this podcast. Hammer Time.
Look, I understand what it's like to be desperate for coin and just like put your entire pussy into a podcast. So I respect the hustle.
He knows what he's doing in his pod. He sits in his chair.
What is his podcast even called?
Hammer Time.
Oh.
He brings people into his shitty apartment, I think. I think it's his apartment. His first guest was his mom, who is Drew, who is one of the Drew Hammer. She's a Christian cuckoo. And he's always barefoot. And because he has huge feet. He's like 6'6".
He wants us to see them.
He does. He knows what he's doing.
A man like that is barefoot for a reason.
But he's
foot baiting.
He's foot baiting. He's doing something. I don't know what it is. The podcast is very weird. It's very odd. But he's talking about like, he's trying to do like a Joe Rogan type of thing or something. Or like Lex Friedman. But like.
Who's he talking to?
The most random people.
He's talking to a bunch of randoms?
He's talking to like, I don't even know who he's talking to, like his weird friends and like his mom. His mom also believed he was a demon and tried to exorcise him once. And she was very disappointed in his apartment, but he doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
Like, I know he comes from a rich family, but he doesn't have any of that money. So it's like he's destitute.
He's on his own.
Not destitute is in quotes. But for someone,
he's like
an
in
heir,
like a popcorn ceiling.
yeah, he had to sell his car. Remember?
Yeah.
He sold his car and he was kind of
he's
like,
in like a Honda Civic. Like
he's living in like a.
Where does he live?
I think he lives in the Valley.
He should be on the Valley.
Yeah. Downtown LA?
Downtown LA.
Oh, he lives in downtown LA. Okay. Missed that.
Random.
He's just random.
Close to the freeways though.
Yeah. His mom was sitting and going like, I don't like this place. His mom is dreadful, a dreadful woman. But he is getting real about himself. He had Tom Arnold on at one point, who's so random. I think he might be sober.
Army?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, but he recently is in the headlines because he described how he tried to fuck a guy once, and it reaffirmed that he wasn't into dudes. He downloaded Grindr, which I know you have that in common with him. And
look, this is what a true like kind of guys who are sexual deviants who've like seen and had access to every kind of sex at one point, either via money or fame or whatever, who like have an itch that really can't be scratched, like, and have to take it further and further.
It's deviant to be with guys.
No, but I'm saying like straight guys.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they then will give it a shot at being gay. But I think 9 times out of 10, they realize that they're not gay.
No, I'm not gay. I'm just a cannibal.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gay. I just like really need to like ratchet it up a few notches.
So he said that he does this thing, which I've actually heard a lot of straight guys say, which is like, gay dudes have it so great. They can just fuck whenever.
Well, I understand that mindset.
No, it's partially true, but it also is like very like
gay guys have 24/7 access to casual sex.
He said he downloaded Grindr. Tried to hook up with a guy through Grindr because
I guess everyone has 24 access to casual sex if they really want it.
You can fuck someone if you really want it.
But I guess gay guys, like, it's more...
Gay men are just more unabashedly...
Just more accepted.
We're more like...
Like, I see for a person like him who's like, God, like, I really run into a lot of problems fucking women because, like, I want to, like, cut them open and drink their blood and, like, they don't like that.
Fillet their ribs.
Yeah, or, like, they don't like the way I'm, like, texting. But maybe if I'm gay, then, like... It's just whatever. Well, which you've said before. Whatever he's saying, like... That's like no big deal.
No, when they on like House of Hammer, when those like prudish talking heads were just being like, I saw some of the sex he sent, like, and I'm not talking about like the ribs. I'm talking about like how
Who fucking cares about the ribs?
He wanted to have anal, and they were like, this was very disturbing. I'm like, go on Grindr for literally
the
5
ribs
minutes.
Was just like fantasy.
Whatever. That's aside.
I stand on business with ribs.
We
don't have to get into it because I've said my piece. You can go back in the archive, but when it comes to a rib from Army, it's fine.
Let me read this quote.
Read it.
In his tone, he goes, I tried hooking up with a dude one time. It was hilarious because I was like, you know what? Like, women are the worst. Gay dudes seem to have it so easy. Like, so easy. I'm at a restaurant, my phone blows up and it's like Grindr, which is like funny that he just is like, yeah, I had Grindr. And someone is like, I'm at the same restaurant. Do you want a blowjob in the bathroom? And you're like, hey, yeah, let's try this. I remember starting making out with him and I just remember like, God, beards. Oh, I get why women are like, you need to shave. Like the thing was fucking rough. Like, how do I get in there? I put my arms around him and I was like, oh my God. And these shoulders are so wide. He's so big. He's almost half my height, or he's almost my height. Like, this is so strange. It did physically nothing for me. Nothing, like not even a twitch. He reached for my dick and I responded, you're not going to get to touch my flaccid penis. Like, this is not going to happen. So like kind of a letdown.
Damn. But sexy nonetheless.
No, it's hot that I give him props for even
being open,
but it's also like it's a letdown.
Look, at least he tried. I applaud any straight man for just trying.
I do like the idea that he was like, I'm going to go full gay cruise and like take things to the restroom at a restaurant. Like that's very like, okay.
No, that's also like, I understand the train of thought that leads you to that place. And had it worked out for him, like, I feel like we would probably meet via same friend circles eventually.
Nothing, like not even a twitch.
But unfortunately, it seems that he's very straight.
I know.
So us meeting via mutuals, not in the cards.
You know who has proudly said that he's fucked and had fun hooking up with guys? Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Which I love.
He's a hungry bottom.
But Army, he's really doing things with his podcast, and I applaud the candor of a straight man being like, yeah, I tried to fuck a guy. That was flaccid.
You're not touching my flaccid penis.
You are not touching my flaccid penis.
Look, let him podcast. Let him do his thing.
He's going to pay for those kids going to private school.
Grindr. Just everyone go on Grindr, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Tell your mom to go on Grindr.
Mm-hmm. She's probably been on just to look around, to find Army and be like, stop this at once.
Your mom?
No, his mom.
Oh, his mom?
Speaking of sexual deviance, Lily Phillips is at it again.
What's she doing now?
My favorite, and I say this with love and light, my favorite whore in the game, Lily Phillips, 23, is now sleeping with elderly men in nursing homes as her latest sex stunt. She is she's going around in the U.S.
She's back stateside.
She's back on American soil, going to nursing homes and meeting her oldest fans and fucking them.
One of her oldest fans, 82-year-old Steve, donning nothing more than a mini skirt and a cardigan that showed off her cleavage. A beaming Lily posed for a selfie with the overjoyed geriatric who used a walking frame to balance himself for the photo. Damn.
This is Steve and Lily.
So she's going to ride him.
Yeah, I think she's going to service. This is kind of community service. Like, this is probably better elder care than like many geriatrics get.
Hey, these people are forgotten. They get put aside by their families, and then they just like sit and wait to die.
This is what she said on socials. She said, I would love to do some charity work while I'm here. So anyone in a care home, hit me up. I let anyone have a go, even including guys that could be my granddad or my little brother, she said in a cluster of clips.
Ooh,
she's in her granddad era. She also has encouragement in their 60s and 70s. I guess for a 23-year-old, that's old. For me, I was like,
been there.
Try older.
So she's abandoned her 1,000.
Well, I think that she was told like she couldn't do the 1,000 people
by like the CDC.
She wasn't like, somehow I forget, but legally there was a legal intervention on her.
Like border agents come.
Yeah, like she was running into problems with that. And I think even Bonnie Blue, her 1,000-man gangbang got taken down and deplatformed. But I say, why? Their body, their choice. I don't know.
Deplatformed.
Anyways, so Lily, like
banks.
Any young entrepreneur, female girl boss, pivoting, going on a nursing home tour.
So she's fucking them in the nursing home.
Let's see.
Is that allowed?
Let's watch the video.
Of the fucking or the...
No, I don't want to watch her fucking them. That's paywalled. OnlyFans is expensive.
It's not like we haven't watched gay porn on Sup before.
I know.
He's got kind of mutton chops.
The care home, visiting my oldest fan.
Are they all gonna fuck her together?
But that's what it's looking like.
Holy shit. All right. The thing I really don't like is that her mom is like...
I just don't trust that this is what she loves to do, is like fuck old randoms, but...
I'm doing it for the love of the game, she says. She said, she's like responding to you right now.
No, I know. Because I read this article and was like, I know the quote. She's doing it for love of the game.
There's no goal.
It was a hobby before I did it for work. So it's not that. I mean.
She's a multimillionaire.
Yeah. She's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Oh, yeah. And then there's this other girl who's also doing like a nursing home. Tiffany. She goes, I want to hit Chicago. Maybe this is us on Sup Tour. I want to hit Chicago, maybe Milwaukee. I don't have the exact dates yet. Mm-hmm. She's going to the Veterans Hospital. That's nice. Mm-hmm. I guess I support. She should fuck a Vietnam veteran. Yeah. I support these women. I do too. Fucking old men. But it's just like. It still creeps me out. Yeah. But.
You can be
Good for
supportive
them.
of sex work while being creeped out by like old men.
Mm-hmm.
By like not, but I guess elderly people need contact. As long as she's doing everything on her terms, then I support it. Go off, get your money.
I know.
But the idea of seeing like 3 geriatric men in a nursing home all on a couch being like, we're going to have some fun.
I mean, I am like curious, but I can't. OnlyFans is so expensive. Like people are charging like $30 a month, which they should. But that's the kind of paywall I'm not willing to cross. It's too much. And also like, I don't know if I'd feel positively sexual after
watching her fuck men in a nursing home. Do they have like a sock on their door? Like,
I don't know.
What if a nurse comes in with like,
but aren't nursing homes like really horny areas anyways?
I think
they're sexually active. They're always having like STI breakouts and stuff.
That's true. It doesn't stop. You just have to find new ways of making it happen.
Mm-hmm. I will say that I'm watching Southern Hospitality now. I pivoted and decided to just go in at season 3. And that was a great decision. And I'm loving it. Good. Yeah. There's a truly disturbed young woman on it who's she kind of looks like Ariana Madix, and her name is Emmy. And she's my hero.
Why?
She's dating this young guy named Will. They're all like in their early 20s. She's dating a guy named Will, I think, who's like 23 or something. Oh my God. He's in law school. He used to work at Republic, the nightclub that they all work at in Charleston. Right. But he's now in law school. And she's like, I've never been more in love in my life. Like, we're going to get married and have kids and be together forever. And he's like getting drunk and going into like situations with their coworkers, like talking shit about her, being like, she's not my forever person. Like, I hate her body, like all this stuff. Meanwhile,
Are you kidding?
The reason he hates her body is because she's funneled, and they've brought this to her before where they're like, we don't think Will is good for you, but she triples down. And instead of really confronting the broken relationship, she decided to just hit the gym, and she has become the Hulk. Like, not like bodybuilder, but she just got fucking shredded, like Sports Illustrated body. But it's also like, girl, I think the rage that she feels is like coming out of her ear.
In prison.
She's Jen Shaw in prison.
Which there were photos of her working out this week that I think all of you have probably seen, and they're amazing.
She's like on too much creatine. Ooh. And she's just like
Is she
ripped.
Like China?
No. It's not like, it's like she looks amazing.
Yeah.
But he just does not like it. Like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, you're weird.
He's a weak ass bitch.
Yeah, he's a weak ass bitch. She could do so much better than him. But she's in like a doty psychosis where she's like, this is the love of my life. And she'll be like, he is like so in love with me, like worships the ground I walk on, like makes all these excuses
for him. What's her job?
She works at Republic.
She's like a server?
Yeah, she's like a cocktail VIP host.
And he's just like this little like cunt that goes in and like gossips about his girlfriend?
And he cheats on her.
No.
Yes.
With who?
With like randoms.
Charleston.
And everyone is like,
gals?
I think it's all leading up to like them confronting them about it. But Emmy like can't handle it. She's so fragile. But
he's
like
literally gonna go.
No, she's gonna like she's gonna kill multiple people.
I want to see it.
She's so unwell, and it's incredible because I do think she's young enough to like
snap out of it.
She will get out of it eventually. I have a lot of faith, which is kind of amazing to watch like really young people be like so messy.
A woman's right to Hulk is a privilege.
She's in Hulk mode.
And every woman has that privilege.
And look, I support like if you can't face the facts of your relationship and the choices, if you instead just need to hit the gym and drink creatine. A protein shake and like get fucking ripped, I guess just do it.
Is he ripped?
No.
She should literally.
He's like a little ginger, like worm.
She should literally chop his head off with her wrist.
She might chop his head off. I'm like worried for the day, and he should be afraid too for the day.
She should go finish him and punch his head through.
I'm worried for the day that she finally realizes that he is not her man because she might kill him. That's just how much anger this woman is buried inside. And anytime someone tries to talk to her about Will, her eyes go like this.
She's like Renee.
She literally, and she looks like kind of Ramona Singer, like meets Ariana. Like it's incredible.
Oh my God. It's like when Renee, whenever they would talk about Junia and she was smoking a cig, she would go.
Yeah. She cannot be confronted about.
Oh, I'm watching immediately.
Yeah, you need to watch. And then there's this other girl who's 21, 22, just turned 22.
Do they have overlap with the Southern Charm people?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't know because I don't watch Southern Charm, but.
Emmy Sharrett, a VIP server who has a 5-year plan. That's her description.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Dinch.
Oh my God, TJ is a really, really devastating gay.
I'm in.
Lake. Okay, so Lake is a new VIP host. I don't know if she's in season 2, but in season 3, she's around, and she comes from like a very wealthy family and has had like a bougie upbringing that included her going to like art school when she was 17 and then studying in Paris. And she talks about her art and her art training, and they show many photos of her paintings, and I'm not kidding. It's some of the worst paintings I've ever
Which
seen.
one is she?
It looks like she's the one bottom left. She is a sweet, beautiful, charming young woman, but her artwork is like a third grader did it. I was like, maybe it's just her perspective, her style. But then the more you see it, you're just like, how in the world? And it is
a Parisian
every time
education.
I see, she's like studied in Paris, and her mom calls her and is like, what's your plan? Have you gone to galleries and seen about representation? And it shows like a painting. And I'm like, she's like, no, not yet. And I'm like, because she knows she cannot. It is, I've never seen such horrible art in my life.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So it's good. It's really serving. It's giving me what I need.
Good suggestion, people.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone that told me to watch this. Oh my God, here we go. Get ready.
Whoa. Oh. That one looks like the villain in the Emperor's New Groove.
This one on the right that just swirls. This is like
this is like what I drew on my notebook.
No, this is like a joke. Imagine, I'm sorry, I was just like, imagine being the parent of a child where you're like, I want to give my child the best education.
Markers?
The best education money can buy. I will stop at nothing to indulge my child's passions, her dreams. I will send her to art school. I'll pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for my girl to get the training that she deserves. And then this is what you get on the other side. Parenting is not for the weak, because as a parent, I would be like, what the
I'd be
actual
like,
fuck?
That one of the dinner table scape with like a wine and a bread.
All right. That's better.
That's better.
That's better than some of them. We're on to something.
There's something here.
We're on to something.
I think there is.
This is the best
There's
I've
soul
seen.
in there, and I feel it like there's a vibe in this photo.
Yeah, that has a vibe.
Let's stick with this.
But like, and you know what? I'm not a fine artist.
Me neither.
And I can't imagine, like, it seems very difficult to also, you really do have to spend a lot of time finding your style, finding your perspective. And maybe you have to flop insanely before you kind of find something.
There is something going on here.
There is something going on here.
I'm feeling like this is something that I would be staring at for a while.
I'm staring at it now. I'm not mad.
I'm kind of like, Lake, whatever you're doing here.
Keep it up,
keep
girlfriend.
This. Do this more.
Yeah.
Because I think in 5 years, this could be, whoa.
Yeah.
But everything else?
At least she's continuing. She's not given up, which would be more than I could commit to if everyone in the world had access to my art school paintings, which I was like, I literally go, no, when they showed them. And every time I see one, I'm like, oh, it's shonking. It's shonking. But I think she could also be a gallery girl if she wanted.
True.
You know?
Like a Charlotte.
But she's one to watch. They are all bringing different things to the table.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'll
and
be
Maddie, the sober, she's sober. She's like
the head of.
She's just like a sober queen who wants to be a DJ. But I like forgive her. I love her.
It's hard to forgive someone for wanting to be a DJ.
You know, but when you can, you realize that the love is true.
Mm-hmm.
And my love for Maddie is true. I'm charmed.
I'm literally like, okay.
But this swirls.
No, this Miss Swirl, this is like
not the pink and purple, yellow and red. Never do that again.
Oh no. No. That's like very Deadhead.
It is. I kind of like it. Let's take it out of the Notebook and onto like a different platform.
Maybe that's part of her thing.
It's like blacklight art is what it kind of looks like.
Maybe it's part of her thing. She's
fine. Look, good on her. She has a very substantial education. And she does seem like a smart, beautiful young woman. So I think she will figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate seeing the art while we have the chance. You know what?
I'm afraid.
It's a braver soul than I.
Let's give a shout out to the bravest souls of all.
The bravest souls of all. The ones who pay $50 a month to be in the cult.
We truly appreciate this. We appreciate all of the patrons and everyone who listens even for free. We love you all.
All of you are.
Thank you so much.
So incredible. And truly without you listening to this pod, free or paid,
we would be nothing.
It would not be around.
No, truly I was feeling grateful this week.
No, me too. I was slapped with a fresh wave of gratitude.
Me too.
But mostly grateful for these people.
Gina Sapienza.
Sexy Unique Gandalf.
Ro Rosengarten.
Ash Kelly.
One of the Dolls.
Teddy the Schnauzer and Tony and Mango's Cult.
Alex Delisle Queen.
Makeup Fresh.
Obviously.
Emily Vaughn.
Gina Sapienza.
Sarah Elizabeth from Boston.
Lucy from London, Great Britain.
Brooke Johannesson.
Lilia Farrell.
Danielle from the Brim.
Maddie.
Katie Solon.
Mike Earhart.
Matthew Thomas.
Alzie Robinson.
Kathy West.
Kit Moore.
Orlando.
Patron of the Farts.
Nick Sedaris.
Mr. Brandon.
Emily.
Kim Lucas.
Drew from Toronto.
Katie the Sup Lawyer.
RJ.
Modern Counseling, McLean, Virginia.
Jeffrey Pratima. Guys, we have also for all these freeloaders out here, if you're like, what are they talking about when they talk about Patreon? I want to give you a little taste of what our chatter was on this week's bonus episode. So without further ado, here's a sneak peek. If you like what you hear, consider becoming a paid member of the pod. You can go to patreon.com/sexyuniquepodcast, sign up, and you won't regret it. I came to the realization
that
I do think Lala ruined Vanderpump Rules. I think that her vibes, unfortunately, have been like really rancid from the start. And if you kind of think about, because I started thinking, my mind first was thinking about summer bodies and winter bodies. And then I'm thinking about when that came into the mix and how Lala looked at Katie and Stassi and was like, I see we haven't been working on our summer bodies. And I was like, God, that was so fucking rude to say to those two.
Especially them.
They've been through enough. They don't need you piling on, you random Utah lady. And then I just started thinking about like the energy that she's brought to the table every season on the show and how it was like she was never really like fully assimilated with the other cast. It was always like Lala's doing something like kind of just on her own me thing and sucked a lot of energy out of the room.
She did.
And then in the last season where she's just like coming for Ariana, and I was like, you really have spent this whole time kind of thinking it's all about you when it's not all about you. And I came to the realization, I was like,
you're not the main character.
You're not the main character of this show. You were never meant to be. You never will be. And you couldn't play ball with the rest of them. And she kind of never fell in line, which was something that I thought I enjoyed. But in retrospect, I'm like, you kind of fucked it up.
It's interesting because I was like get her out of here by the last season. So boring. So self-righteous about her sobriety.
Beyond self-righteous.
And I say this as someone who's a sober person. It's really obnoxious. She kind of brought the new brand of reality star, like people that are already, she was like an Insta girl basically, you know what I mean?
But not even,
but she brought that vibe of like someone who's trying to already be a reality show person to the reality show. When these people, yes, they wanted fame or they wanted to be successful, whatever the fuck they were doing, acting in quotes, modeling for like Jose.
They were like supremely untalented and had no like wherewithal. But that is the brand of Vanderpump Rule, is to be untalented with no wherewithal. And she was
maybe
moderately talented with more wherewithal.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. She was more self-aware. So she came in she came in as like a new reality star of like self-editing.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't work.
And it came across just totally canned and like.
And it worked against everyone because she was hiding her relationship. She never really truly gave us like the glimpse into things. Like there was always hiding, withholding, like trying to kind of game things play.
Scheana invited us into her home while she and Mike were eating cold pasta, saying like one day we'll have a dining table.
Yeah.
You know, like that is like, doesn't get more real.
That was avant-garde.
Doesn't get more real than that. But like Lala.
That was cinema verite.
She kept things so
Lala was
secretive.
always playing games.
She was always playing games. And you're right. She did kind of ruin it. James Kennedy was spitting on doors.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen Doty was.
James Kennedy was moderately talented, zero wherewithal.
Yeah.
Like a negative wherewithal.
Minus.
The wherewithal factors with everyone were insanely low, except Stassi. She had wherewithal,
but she succumbed to her shadow.
Mm-hmm.
She was arguably smarter than everyone, but like she still had that brand of like just you know, dregs.
Just a fucking rancid bitch.
Rancid dregs. Literally hitting her best friend who has like brain damage over the face.
Yeah.
In a public place. Getting into a fight outside of mixology in the Grove. Like, she might be smart and like college educated.
Her shadow would take over.
They all were like that.
So she had no wherewithal when it came to her own shadow. Yeah.
But Lala always had like, she was
posturing.
She was posturing. She was
from Utah talking in a black scent.
Yeah.
She was sucking from a baby bottle.
She headbutted a trans woman.
But yeah, I was like,